Morning.
All right, good morning, everybody. We'll start the meeting in a minute. Lynn has to make an announcement. Lynn?
Good morning. I just want to tell everybody who was nominated for the election committee. I'll read your names in case no one told you. Judy Razon, Alice Rubin, Ira Brown, Luke Zimmerman, Felix Wadish, Susan Ortzman, Steve Sachs, Susan Anderson, V. Wortman, and Judy Zauder. If you'll come to the back of the room after the meeting, we will have a 10-minute meeting to pick a chairperson. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for volunteering. Okay, ready? Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we have 42.
Okay, thank you. We have the minutes from the last meeting.
Good morning. The minutes of the November Cobrua Delegates meeting were published in the December issue of the Cobrua Reporter, which came out a little late this month. Anybody find any additions, corrections, or omissions from those published minutes? Are there any objections to accepting the minutes as printed in the Cobrua Reporter newspaper? Thank you.
Okay, we'll go with the President's report. We have election coming up for all the officers. If you have, the deadline has passed if you wanted to run for office, but you can nominate yourself for the floor. Sid is Cobra elections in February, is that correct? Sid? Cobra election is in February, so January they have to nominate from the floor? Oh, okay, good. All right, we have a new president from Rexford, Martin Fish. Martin, you want to stand up, please? New president. And we have the former president, Karen Sachs, who worked very hard. Karen, thank you for everything. I just want to remind the presidents, especially the new presidents, that it's the holiday season. The association cannot give gifts to their name. If you want to give a gift, you can have it in your own personal name. You can't do it with the association. Okay, that's it. Treasurer's report.
Good morning again. Our checking account balance is $7,684. Our CD is $35,588 for a balance of $43,272. Last month's balance was $43,681. Any questions? Yes?
Is it good or bad? What's it mean?
Hold on a minute. Let Dave get to you.
Here. Dave.
Is this a good number, bad number? Is this a usual number? What does it mean?
It means I need more money. It's just, that's what it's been running the last year. That's what it's been running the last year.
Does anybody else have a report? Question? Okay. You have a question?
Just to comment on the financials, the finances, the money that comes into Cobrua, largely I think comes from the newspaper, right? And we have
Correct.
we have ads and we have printing costs. And we seem to have a lot of ads, so I don't know that we're necessarily in a bad position. We're not looking to add lots of money, but as long as we're staying above water, I think we're good.
If you say so.
We're doing pretty well. Okay, security, you want to come up and give the report, please?
morning, my name is Jody representing United Security, and this is the monthly recap for November. For miles patrolled, we had 5,936, pre-authorized calls 6,540, commercial vehicles 610, and food delivery was 60. Any questions?
And we have one here, Dave.
Karen, ex-president. I have a question. About 5 or 6 weeks ago, we spoke, and I said that 2 people had come in on my okay, and it wasn't on my okay. It came in on my phone, and you said you were going to get back to me and let me know who it was. You never did.
Sorry about that. I'll get back to you. Like I explained to you before, the issue that we had, the guards needed more training with the new system. So when you guys did get that okay, it wasn't necessarily that it came to your unit. They clicked the wrong button, but it did send you a notification. But we've been training the guards on that. But I'll give you a call today.
My concern has to do with the New England gate. There are huge lines. There's got to be a better way of checking people. The owner's line, somebody was in the wrong line, the owners had to wait 20 minutes till you clear that person. And then you can see it's now a real problem. I know you're doing increased security, but there has to be a more speedier way of doing this.
So the gates were broken for about a week. So one second. So the gates were broken for about a week. Other than that, we definitely have been working on ways to get the lines to go faster. So we did come up with a new method for the guards. Hopefully it will work. We do have the snowbirds coming back as well, that they don't have a Central Village ID or a decal. They only have their driver's license, and they're going in the residence lane as well. So it does give and hold up, but we are definitely working on that.
Good morning, Harold, president of Newcastle. I called up the desk one of the gates one day about a complaint about a illegal parked car. It took your Rover driver over 40 minutes where I couldn't wait no more. The person finally came down to move their car, and the Rover mobile never showed up. And I'd like to know why.
Do you remember the date?
Not offhand.
Do you remember? Okay, I'll look into it and get back to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and delegates. My name is Fred Hadley. I'm a resident of Cornwall E. And I'd like to follow up on the question about the problems getting into the property. I was southbound on Lyons coming from Doris's Italian, and I wanted to make the left into New England because I knew they were having gate issues at my normal gate, which is Kimberly. There were 2 cars in front of me in the left turn lane, also looking to get into Century Village. They could not make the left turn because the traffic was backed up from the visitor lane, wrapped around onto Lyons Road, which is not a dedicated lane at that point. The cars that wanted to turn left could only do so if they were willing to block Lyons Road. It was like a Mexican standoff. They couldn't get in. The people coming from Glades wouldn't wait to let the people turn. So it was a very dangerous situation. I wanted to get into the decal lane because I'm a resident, and that lane was empty. But I had to just struggle and do all kinds of aggressive maneuvers to get around the rear bumper of one of these cars. So this is an accident waiting to be happening. And I want to add my voice saying that there has to be something about these horrendous gate entry issues. Thank you.
Dave, we have 2 people up here, 3. We have Fred from Wilmington had his hand up first. Dave. And we have this woman here, and then we have you. We have all three.
Fred Liska from Wilmington. Hi, Joey. You know this
Hey,
hand?
one meeting, fellas. Miss one meeting, please. One meeting, okay.
On a few occasions, we had this kayak trailer. A trailer having about 6 or 7 kayaks on it, being led by a truck. It was led into the village on 3 occasions, according to the supervisor, Annalise. She confirmed on 3 occasions. Every time they came in, they came about 12:30 in the morning, parked in Wilmington, stayed there for days, and would not take what you call it, fined or some ticket, put it on top of it and say, get rid of this. It was let in 3 times, a kayak trailer with the truck. Why was this allowed into the village and allowed to stay here? It was a resident son or grandson.
Yes. Yeah, when they came the night, security did contact management. We didn't know who to call at the time because it was so late and they didn't get permitted to let in, which is something that we don't usually do. We did contact the resident the next day to let him know that his grandson couldn't come in with the trailer with the kayaks, but unfortunately the next day they came again, the security did drop the ball and everything. Yes.
Okay, we have a woman here, Fred. Are you paying? This lady had a hand up next.
Good morning. My name is Milton Fishberger. I'm from Cornwall. I have a question, not necessarily for you, but for the members of the board. Who does security report to on the members on the board?
The M&O committee.
Okay. So this issue with the vehicles backing up, I would suggest, Mike, that it's not necessarily something for security to resolve, but I would suggest that maybe a committee would be formed to take a look at the whole issue of the backing up of the vehicles by both of the gates. There are people who are, in fact, visitors who drive basically into the resident lane, and that backs up that lane, in addition to the regular snowbirds or visitors that are backing up the left lane. So that right lane really does cause a problem when someone who doesn't live here just backs into it. So I would suggest that a small committee be formed to try to come up with some solutions to the backing up of the vehicles.
I've already contacted the county, and they told me that the heaviest volume here is between January and March. They're going to do the survey of both gates and they can report back to us. So we'll know.
Hi, Susan Anderson from Suffolk. A suggestion, maybe they can make temporary passes with an expiration date for those snowbirds, regardless. My question was, I see a lot of turnaround and security gate. Is there a reason for that? Yeah, a lot of employees at the gate. I see a large turnaround, the same people aren't there.
There are people other than them. We did have guards that were in college, but they received their degrees and they branched off. I'm sorry, we do have guards that were in college, they received their degrees and they branched off to something better.
Okay.
Anybody else have any reports? Okay. Oh, Ted Spot.
One thing I'd just like to mention, when someone gets up and says something happened 3 weeks ago and I want to tell you about it, if it was important, call somebody at that time, whether it's security or someone at the first gate, at the office in the clubhouse, and don't wait for 3 weeks to find out that something happened and you're not sure when. And even if you knew when, if it was really important, and I'm sure it was, the way you're talking about it, I'm sure it was important, we should be able to do something. If something could be done, that's the time to do it, and not to wait to bring it up now and ask Jody, you know, do you remember about this? There's no reason for her to remember. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Somebody over here wants not a delegate.
Okay,
Security's allowed to.
yes, they are. We know that, thank you.
No, I'm telling this lady that who's custody.
Tell her to ask me.
Linda Hirsch, I live in Newcastle. I'm here 5 years. I got a condition. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Okay.
very well.
I noticed all over this community, there is not one chair with arms. And there are people here, like myself, that need a chair with arms so I can get up or down. Now, if you can't do anything for me, can I bring my own chair in?
Why should you bring your own chair in? The M&O committee will bring it up, we have a meeting, we'll bring it up, and we'll suggest that you buy some chairs.
I mean, this is really something because I'm here 5 years and I can't come down to this clubhouse, which I'm paying for.
You happen to be absolutely correct. We will bring it up at the M&O committee, we'll get some chairs in here for the handicapped people.
Yeah, because
And if it doesn't happen, you can yell at me, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Who's
I know
talking to
people-
me?
I know people who are handicapped, they do need chairs, even when they go to restaurants, they don't have chairs with arms. So we'll take care of that.
I would
promise
appreciate
you.
that. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
I have a question back for you, ma'am. Hello? I have a question for you. Are you referring just to this room?
The whole facility.
But I know the lobby has chairs with arms. You're talking about the meeting rooms and the card rooms. Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah, we have someone here.
Okay, I have a minor suggestion. Alan Pierre from Cornwall and Suffolk. In regard to the entranceway with the guest lane, we have a lot of seasonal residents that don't have decals. Can you honor their production of their ID to get them and expedite the entry through the guest lane, through the resident lane? And that would avoid a lot of traffic on the guest lane.
We still have to check the system with their driver's license to make
No,
sure.
they have an ID already from Century Village. They're seasonal residents.
A lot of them don't, that's the issue, they only have a
But
driver's
if they
license.
do, that
That's
would be
fine,
the way
we are
to
allowing that.
alleviate it,
This
okay?
is why you guys are seeing a rover at the gates now. This is why you guys will at times see myself at the gate because we're allowing that to happen. But the ones that don't have that and only have a driver's license and want to get immediate.
Understood.
That's
But
the
if they
delay.
have, can you make it aware that if they have that Century Village?
That
ID,
has been made aware. It's been
okay,
happening.
maybe
That's
you
why
should
there's a.
publish it in a Cobrua. This way people are aware of it and let the ID office know that they can't get a decal because they're seasonal rentals, but they can use the resident lane upon production of the ID.
And that's not what's causing the delay.
Okay, it would help. I'm sure it would help.
I'm
the
just
situation.
explaining to you the delay is the driver's license. They cannot gain immediate access with a driver's license. Not because you have a driver's license mean you live here. All right? Okay.
Elaine Harris, hi. Just to clarify what Alan was just saying, are you saying that if I am in my son's car who does not have a decal, but I have my ID, that I can go in the resident decal lane and show it and go through?
If you have a Central Village ID and the lines are long, this is why we have the rovers there.
Okay, but my point is, this is the first I'm hearing about it.
They navigate them to the guests, to the resident lane for them to gain access to cut the traffic.
But I'm saying what the other person said, which is this should be publicized. If, for those of us who don't know this, that would ease things up very quickly.
A rover has to be present for that.
Just a minute, sir. You can't just talk. You have to
I'm sorry.
be recognized.
Sorry.
Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Fred Hadley again, just following up on what Jody said. How can the guard scrutinize the ID to see that it's not an expired ID if the guard is in the booth and you're waving it from the decal lane? It seems to me that it's too tiny to really...
They're not waving it from the decal lane. There's a rover there that's directing traffic to the residence lane.
And where exactly is the rover parked?
They're parking on foot. They go
So
down the line.
the guard is on foot between the two lanes, like at the divider point, or?
That's why they have a vest on now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we have two gentlemen. We had the gentleman behind you had his hand up first, and then...
Ira Brown, Height C. Can you please explain? Ira Brown, Height C. Can you please explain if somebody moves out of Century Village and sells their apartment, that they still come back to Century Village, use their ID and a decal on their car? How come that's not expired?
From what I know, the decals do get deactivated once they move out. First Service does contact the ID office as well. They have a communication with them, and the decal get expired. This is why when they come with a driver's license, security is now checking the system to make sure that they're in the system, which also causes a slight delay for you guys, but we do have to still check with the driver's license.
But there are people that still come back here with expired IDs, and they still are allowed to come in here and use our facilities, which is not right.
Is it a Central Village ID?
Yes.
We confiscate Central Village IDs. Every single one of them, we confiscate them that comes to the gate or the clubhouse, or if they ride the bus.
I know on several instances, several people still come here and still use the facilities. So.
I'll tell you what you do. You know those people, meet with her after the meeting, give them their names, they will not be allowed in anymore.
Yeah, but if they have a driver's license and it has their old address, they can still get in.
Just do me a favor, meet with her after, give them the names of the people that are doing that. Okay, I see you, sir, but he's been standing a long time, and then I'll do you. No, wait, the gentleman back there has been standing up a long time. You see the yellow shirt, Dave? Then we have the gentleman back here in the gray right after him, okay? Can I take it in order?
David Love, Yarmouth A. Just with regard to the seasonal people, why can't we use the electronic capability, since you're saying the decals can get canceled, to provide temporary IDs on decals for the seasonal people? They're put on the window. You know from the records when those people are leaving, and then that decal is deactivated. Related to that, I got an ID when I first moved in. I think once the ID had to get updated, but many of us are sitting with IDs 10 years or more. If we haven't sold our car, we've got a decal that's been on for that long. Maybe we should think of having the decals get deactivated, maybe on a long-term basis, maybe next year, and have it valid only for a short period of time so you can control the flow. But we have the electronic capability. We should be able to have temporary decals issued to these people it'll pull a substantial number of cars away from having to go in through the gate.
First, you had your right here, and then we have that gentleman back there. Just a minute. Dave, here, right here. Here, Dave. Right here. No, I said right here. And then the gentleman in the back, in the gray.
Concerning the rover, are there specific hours that the rover is present? So
24 hours.
24 hours.
Yes, sir.
Okay, gentleman in the back there. See the gentleman back there.
Hi, I'm Mark Fennick from Lincoln. First of all, I think security's gotten a lot better here. They instituted this ring system where if somebody comes in here, I get notified. And I think they're checking the IDs a lot better, and that might be another reason why the lines are getting longer. My second issue is, I don't play pickleball, I don't want to play pickleball, I don't like pickleball.
It's going to be about security.
It's not about, oh, this is only security? Oh, I came in late.
You can talk about pickleball on the good and welfare.
When?
Talk about pickleball on the good and welfare.
Okay.
Because if I start with pickleball, the next thing will be tennis, and then we'll go on, then it'll be baseball. You'll get your turn to talk, seriously. Any other questions for security, either with residents, the delegates and non-delegates? Okay, thank you. Bylaws Committee.
Good morning. The Bylaws Committee met on November 6, 2023. Attending were Alan Perlman, Chair, Dave Fisher, Susan Meltzer, and Lynn Roberts. Absent was Regina Apicella. Cobrua President Mike Limangeli had requested an amendment to the bylaws to change Article 5, Section 5, by striking the final two sentences, thereby removing the restriction on the president's right to run for office after 2 consecutive terms.
Get the microphone, we can't hear you.
Quick recap. The sentences were removed that restrict the president from running for office again after 2 consecutive terms have already been served. It was discussed, a vote was taken, and the vote was 2 of the voting members against the change and 1 of the voting members for the change. So it was 2 against 1 not to do it. The Bylaws Committee reported to the Executive Board that we do not recommend the change. There was an intense discussion of the merits of term limits for the office of president. President only.
Because the Executive Committee did not recommend it being forward from that, because they didn't have a quorum. So they'll vote on it again. Okay. Did you want to say anything, Colleen? No, you raised your hand, that's why.
My own request was, I thought a reading was happening.
No. Okay, anything else?
Question?
Yes.
Susan Ortsman, President. So therefore, you're going to do it again next month, in January?
It's going to be brought to the Executive Committee next month.
Okay,
They'll
and
make a
then,
recommendation.
and then in February and March, like we were supposed to do December and January, you're going to read it twice again?
No.
Yeah. No, she doesn't know when we're going to bring it up, that's all.
This is what I want to know. I want to know,
It's not a dead issue.
No, it's not a dead issue.
It will be brought up to the executive board in January.
And they will make
It'll be brought up to
recommendations.
the delegates in January.
So you don't go back to bylaws committee?
No,
No.
no.
so it's going to be brought up again in January,
And at the executive board,
Yes.
and then in January to the delegates.
correct.
So only one time.
And then in February, you will vote on it.
That's what I want to know. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, yes. Please.
To try to summarize what you said, what Susan is asking, you're suggesting that the bylaws committee has said, no, they don't want this addressed. The executive committee plans to talk about it some more and potentially bring it up at the January meeting.
Yes, make a recommendation.
Do the bylaws allow you to do that by bypassing the bylaws committee?
Bylaws, we did not bypass them, they already made their suggestion.
So they simply made a suggestion, they did not stop the process?
No.
Helene, the key word is recommendation. The bylaws committee makes a recommendation to the executive board. It's not it doesn't cut off any further. At least that's the way it's being interpreted.
So what's the point of having it?
For them to investigate it and see, if it should be or shouldn't, but it is only, the word is recommendation. So it's really open, I think, after that.
So this issue is not being addressed at this meeting and might be addressed at the next meeting?
Exactly.
If we have a quorum at the executive board, we vote.
Got it, thank you.
We missed by one, Elaine. We missed by one vote. Okay, now we're gonna go into M&O, Community Affairs, and
Good morning, everyone. Community Affairs, the West Boca Council will be meeting the end of the month to discuss the potential traffic problems on Lyons Road, where the G&L is building homes. When I reviewed the section on 441, there's room to put a traffic light, so that might not be a problem over there. So once we meet, and we'll see how we can push to get a traffic light. I don't know if there's enough room or what the rules are, but that's what we're going to push for, a traffic light at the entranceway to the GL homes on Lyons Road. So I'll keep you informed as to what's going on. Any questions?
Milton Fishberger from Cornwall. I'm not sure I understand how a traffic light is going to minimize the traffic on Lyons Road. All it's going to wind up doing is stopping more cars from proceeding very quickly through Lyons Road. So how does the traffic light help us?
Right now, all you're going to do is have left turn, right turn. All the residents are going to come in, or are allowed to come in only on 441. So right now we're talking about chaos, and we're seeing how we can alleviate the problem. I'm not saying that's the total solution, but that is one of the problems. Without a traffic light, you're going to have left and right turns going in and out, and heavy traffic from trucks coming in as well as non-residents coming in. So we'll pick it up and see what's going on.
I must be missing something, because if you're coming out of that development, that new development, is there not a border over there that prohibits them from making that left turn and going north?
Right now, there's no left or right turns there.
Well, I would love to keep it that way, because...
Well, that's your opinion.
Well, I am stating...
Why did you let us examine it, and we'll come up with a recommendation?
Okay, but I'm
and
asking...
give it to the Department of Traffic.
Okay, but you're kind of saying that you're fighting to have recommendation.
We're trying to relieve the potential traffic jams on Lyons Road or potential accidents that may happen, because there's no traffic light there to control the traffic.
Well, I don't I don't understand why you would need to even have, if we could prevent it from even having an entrance or exit on Lyons, that would be even better. 441's a lot bigger road and it's more commercialized than having it over here.
This is what the G&L people have the right to do, have an entrance and exit on Lyons Road. They're the ones that got the approval to do it through the traffic department.
Susan Anderson, Suffolk. I was just gonna say the same thing. Could we potentially put a new entrance or exit?
Could you talk into the mic, please?
I'm sorry, could we potentially put in a new entrance and exit on Lyons? That's what I was, not on Lyons, on Yamato. That's what I was gonna ask. No?
There's no...
To get into our Century Village. Yeah, to have a third entrance for us. That would help alleviate some traffic. Is that not possible?
Right now you have the canal there, which is under the approval of the water department. So I don't know if they're gonna allow a bridge to come over their property, so. We can explore it, but I don't think it'll...
Stan, I brought that up 3 years ago, that if both the entrances on lines are backed up and there's an emergency, how does the fire department get in? And I said, Yamato Road. And not only that, it makes it easier for the people who live close to Yamato Road to get in. They don't have to come here. And they're looking into it, they really are. Dave, we have the Newcastle.
Harold Goldberg, Newcastle. Why can't we, like they said, Yamato Road, but for residents only? And let all the guests come in through the Lyons roadway. Maybe that would be a nice suggestion also.
It's really been, all those questions have been asked, maybe emergency vehicles have to come in that way too, but that's why we have here. It was brought up, how about a special place for just residents? That was brought up too. So they're looking into it. Is it easy? It's not easy because of the water and everything like that. But it's been brought up because I said, it's very simple. If an emergency vehicle has to come in either north or south gate now, we got a problem. And we had that problem 2 years ago also. So that the third entrance is something we really should look at. I've been supporting that for 3 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
Go ahead, Stan.
Okay. All right, we're going to go on to M&O Committee. The committee met with management on Wednesday, November 15th. Present was Judy Milton, Vice President, and Dan Cruz, Vice President, Regional Facilities. The entire committee was present. Here are some of the highlights. The water main project that the county has taken over is moving along. Maybe not as quickly as we wanted, but it's being worked on. Originally, it looks ugly, but they're going to replant the grass, and there'll be hedges around the backflows. Right now, they're working on Route 2, which is Exeter, Cornwall, and eventually Ainsley. Route 3, which will take part at the beginning of next year, will be Brighton and Dorset. The renovations in front of the clubhouse is moving along, maybe not as quickly as we want to, but that's the result of the county making changes or recommending modifications. We're going to be meeting tomorrow with management as well as the construction people to get an update to see if we can move it along any quicker. Right now, we're striving for opening it in December, but I can't promise that right now. The blinking lights warning about crossing lanes have been installed in some of the areas. There have been some minor complaints, but I think we resolved them. Collections from delinquent accounts totaled $50,500 some odd. First Service is no longer handling the rodent traps around the village. The management committee we'll take this up with SunWest to see if we're gonna take it over the beginning of next year. Wish everyone a happy, healthy New Year, stay safe and be careful. Any questions regarding the report? I see some finger pointing.
Larry Krakauer, Exeter. I'd like to know what the construction in front of the clubhouse, the main entrance, has to do with closing the indoor pool, especially now that winter's come upon us.
It seems that because that's an entranceway and a lot of traffic, and for some reason they felt it would be safer to close down the indoor pool.
Why would it be a safety issue? I mean,
There are a lot of people going in and out, going through. That's an entranceway into the clubhouse area as well as the as well as the party room.
But it's really a hardship for people who can't swim outdoors due to the cold weather like yesterday.
Well, we'll discuss it again to see what we can do to alleviate that serious problem.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Mary. I'm from Benshaw. And I don't know if the question is to you or who to ask. When will our pool be finished? Do you know? Or do I
Pools
have-
take roughly 2 to 3 months to be completed, so. When did they start working on it?
About a month ago.
Give it another month and a half, 2 months.
March, you think?
No, March is way too far. I would say a little earlier than March.
Thank you.
Good, I'm finished.
Yeah, we have, anyone here from the Hot Wire Committee that would like to say anything about it? Yes, Regina? Hold on, Rico. Come on up.
Well, thank you. Hot Wire is about finished with the installation process going on with the 5 associations. The pool Wi-Fi has been detained for legal reasons, but all the equipment needed to do the Wi-Fi at all 5 pools has been ordered, and we're just waiting on the go-ahead from legal for Hot Wire to start the completion of that process. Meanwhile, I've asked for help for Comcast to make certain that until such time that Hot Wire is about to commence, that our pools all have operating Wi-Fi from Comcast. Other than that, there's really not much more to report. We have a community channel. It will be, for those of you on Hot Wire, on channel 99. And it will mimic almost exactly the same community channel that's in place right now with Comcast. And we also have in progress the possibility of the fiber drops helping us attain security cameras at a very reasonable cost. In January, we're getting proposals from Hot Wire on that project. So all of the 5 associations that have been wired for fiber, we're letting you know that proposals for security cameras will be coming shortly. Other than that, that's it. Any questions? Yes.
Hi, does this have anything to do in interruption that may be happening with the other, what am I trying to say, Wi-Fi connections. There's been a lot of interruptions lately, a lot.
With Xfinity?
No, well, I don't know what my sister has. She's in Preston, and I'm in Xfinity. Okay, just asking. Like,
Okay, no, as far as I know, no.
Interfering with the service, I don't know.
Can't hear you.
Martin?
Sorry. Milton Fishberger from Cornwall. Regina, thanks for the information. Now that the 5 associations are going to be the guinea pigs for the rest of us, I'm curious, and I don't know if it's a Stanley question or you, is Hotwire intending to do the rest of the village eventually, or just for any future bids that may be coming? Or they're just currently doing yours and no future expansion at this point?
As far as I know, there's a cable committee upon the completion of the Comcast contract that would do recommendations like they did prior for those that are on Xfinity now to perhaps go to Hotwire. I'm sure it would be Hotwire's intention and happiness to get the whole village, yes, but it's not up to them, it's up to the people to decide what carrier they're going to go with when your contract with Xfinity allows that possibility.
Thanks, Regina.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, folks.
Thank you, Regina. We appreciate you taking the time. Okay, Cobra Group, Sid.
I just want to remind you that at our next delegates meeting, we'll be taking nominations on the floor for director of the Cobra Group, and the election will be at the delegates meeting in February. There are 4 seats will be open. The qualifications are that you're a permanent resident, and either a member of the Cobrua Executive Board or a director of your association. Again, anyone who wants to fill one of those seats, you can nominate yourself at the next directors meeting, at the next delegates meeting. And the only other thing I have is again to let you know that March 1st, our attorneys will be here and bring everybody up to date on the election process, to exercise the option or not, and the plans for going forward if indeed the community decides to exercise the option. So it's going to be an important meeting, and we'll put plenty of notices up in your buildings and in the reporter, channel 6, excuse me, channel 63, etc. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Sid. Old business, anyone have anything in the old business? Anybody have anything on the new business? Yes, miss.
Susan Anderson, Suffolk. I was just wondering if it's possible to get more benches within the village, like along the walkways and stuff like that, the walk paths. That's ever been discussed. I don't know.
What do you want?
Benches, like more seating benches throughout the community.
Stan, we looked into that. Have they finished it?
We'll look into it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else on the new business? Anything on the good welfare? Good welfare from the residents, the gentleman to Greg first. I promised him. I promised him. you have to come forward, sir, to here. All the residents meet here.
Okay.
Go, you have to go here.
Oh.
It's like going to the wrong court. Is that it?
Just telling you, that's the code right
Just tell us who you are, sir. That's it. I know you waited a long time.
Oh, you'll hold it.
okay?
My name's Mark Fennick from Lincoln. Like I said before, I don't play pickleball. I don't like pickleball. I don't recommend pickleball. But when I drive in and out of this community, especially on the North Road, there's one tennis court delegated to the pickleball. There's 30 people waiting to play, and there's nobody else on the tennis courts. Last year when I was here, I saw 1,000 signatures from residents that are asking for one tennis court. Gives you 4 pickleball courts. I don't understand what the holdup is. Pickleball is a big draw now. They're advertising indoor pickleball. All the communities around us are advertising pickleball, and we're going in the opposite direction. It's not a big deal, and I just don't understand why they don't address it.
Okay, let me try to explain to you. I'm the fellow that brought pickleball into Century Village. There was a gentleman by the name of Frank who unfortunately passed away this year, and I got into courts. We're looking into the courts. There's a lot of problems with getting courts because people where pickleball is being played are complaining about the noise that the ball makes when they hit it. And I brought to our attention here that it happened in another community in California, I believe, where a woman sued them and won $1 million from the Pickleball Association. So that's why we're being very careful and look at it, because we do have complaints from residents that they are being disturbed by the pickleball. So we're looking at it, we're trying to put pickleball where it doesn't bother residents, but give you the opportunity to play.
I understand that. And all the pickleball players wanted to do it right here by the clubhouse, where they had bathroom facilities and lighting. And I just understand it's not that big of a deal to put a fence up.
I'll have Sandy, who's, I don't want to take away from the M&O committee, but it's a big discussion.
One of the agenda items on the M&O committee for the budget that we just passed was to talk about tennis courts and pickleball. In order to keep the coupon at a decent rate, we deferred anything until next year regarding pickleball and tennis, and this way we managed to keep the coupon at a whopping increase of $2.62.
I'll make it $3 even, put the pickleball.
All right, I'll collect it when we're finished. I'll give you a receipt also.
Okay, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am, and yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Bob Cantor from Hyde, and I've been coming to Century Village as an owner since the 1980s. And my recollection could be wrong, but almost every year since then on the theater and the shows, we've always had a show on New Year's Eve. And my recollection that in season, we've tended to have 3 shows a week. And unless I'm mistaken, I think this New Year's Eve, there is no show in the theater. And we're only having 2 shows a week in season. And I wondered whether Cobrua was involved in that decision-making. I imagine budget had something to do with it, but I'm wondering if your organization approved or went along with what I think is a diminution of the benefits of living in Century Village.
That's an M&O committee decision. Stan?
Well, November and December, we have 1 show a month on Saturday. This year, because there's a conflict with people saying if there's a show, they can't get to the New Year's party on time, so we're having the movie instead, and we're trying it out. And we'll look into the reason why we cut down on shows, because of attendance and expense problems. But we'll look into it.
But the answer is then, the Cobrua did have input in the decision that...
No, the answer is not Cobrua had input into it, the Management and Operations Committee.
The M&O committee.
The M&O Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Jennifer Mansfield G. I'm here today. I'm a new resident. I closed on my condo last August. And I would like to know the reason, I don't know if you can give me the reason, but both associations, Sen West and Mansfield Association, refuse to acknowledge me as owner. My name is on the title.
We can't help you with that, but if you come up and meet with me after the meeting, I will give you some advice on how to do that, okay? Come and see me after the meeting. We should be shortly. Come up and see me and I'll give you some advice on how to do that, okay?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm Stan Cisak from Guilford A. I'm the current president of the tennis club. And I have to give you a totally different viewpoint of what happens when you have people playing competing sports. Tennis requires more space. Nature of the game. But when you look at the time when you walk by courts, sometimes the pickleball courts in the morning are not completely full. Well, the tennis courts are completely full in all three areas. The sport itself is a longer game. So to create something without thinking it through can cause an issue. Tennis it's been here, pickleball is growing, tennis is there. I mean, it's an international sport played by thousands, millions. So if you cut back on one, you're going to affect the other. I hope the board thinks their decision out and starts to look for areas where pickleball and tennis can work together as a pointing out one against the other. It's not a confrontational thing. We are an active community. Both sports are probably the most active sports that'll be going on next to swimming. So if you jeopardize one, you're going to affect the other.
Why don't you, excuse me, why don't tennis and pickleball get together, give a solution, and come to us so help you resolve that solution?
We have already presented our plans to you.
No, why don't you and pickleball get together, come out and tell us what's best for both, and then we will consider them. Why ask me?
I would certainly be open to that.
Well, contact pickleball and you can come to me personally with that.
We are running activities this year, and we have inviting pickleball members to participate in our future events. So we don't attack them.
I'll tell you. Let me tell you something. If you're having a problem getting together, you can invite me to come to.
You don't have a problem getting together. It's just that when you take something away from one person, you're giving it to someone.
Mike,
and they're going to have an issue.
Sir, you're making an assumption. We're going to be taking up this whole issue for the next budget, and we have all the documentation that's been presented to us. So we're not going to cut out one or add to the other. It's something that has to be decided.
I was wondering if, Martin Fish from Rexford. I was wondering if there's been any further discussion about EV charging stations, because it's coming soon within the next 5 or 6 years when the new cars will all be electric.
Well, I watch television and I read the papers lately, and you can buy a car very cheaply because they have the owners of cars are now recommending to the president that he's got to stop producing them because they can't use them. They're stuck with 300,000 cars or something. Yeah.
Can't hear you.
He said if you go to any new development, they have charging stations. That's right. Right. Yes.
Elaine Harris, Heights
Yes, Elaine.
Association. Some of you may know that I wrote an article for the Village Sentry asking questions about the insurance committee, and I was wondering if you could clarify for me, please, where the insurance committee is. Does the insurance committee take bids? Are these bids posted on the portals? And how does this all work?
You just said what we do. You just answered your own question.
Same.
Yes, they do take bids. Yes, they do put it on the portal.
I haven't seen any bids on insurance on any portals
Where's the
that
chairman?
I've looked at.
Is the chairman here? Want to come up, Charlie, and answer the question, please? Here's the insurance committee chairman. Come up and answer the question, Charlie. Okay, want to introduce yourself, please? Introduce yourself and tell us what
Charlie
you do.
Rosenfeld, president of Preston. Okay, as far as I'm the insurance chairman also. As far as insurance is concerned, we just received the final figures just last week. And that same day that I received them, we brought it over to the meeting that we had. So as far as the portals are concerned, I already spoke to Ron Rippo of First Service, and I told him it has to go into the portal, and he agreed, and that is going to happen. Okay, so I think that addresses your concern. Okay, what else?
So if there are competitive bids, what are the companies besides Plastridge that you've gotten any information from? And are those bids available to be seen?
I will be submitting those bids, okay, to First Service, and also I spoke to Fred Hadley about it just the other day, and I told him that, that they will be available to be seen, so.
Companies that we've gotten bids from besides Plastridge?
So we have a surplus company. I'm not sure what the other company is. I would have to look and get back to you on that.
You also have citizens involved in that too.
Yeah, we did look at citizens, yeah.
Broker or citizens as an insurance company?
The broker is responsible to get bids from insurance companies. And to the best of my knowledge, Plastridge has gotten a number of bids from different companies. His recommendation came through, and Charlie has what his recommendations are.
So I think what my question is why do we not have different broker recommendations? How do we just only?
Because you can only have one, you can have different broker recommendations, but the broker of record has restrictions on who can go to other companies. So he's got more or less the market locked up.
So how do we have competitive brokers working for us if they're not allowed to work for us unless we break away and sign, as Hype did with Legacy, to get a different broker from Plastridge?
And the legacy broker is going to get the same information that...
I understand that. My question is, do the different associations understand that the insurance committee of Cobrua can only deal with, seems to only deal with Plastridge?
The insurance committee decided to use Plastridge as the broker, which we've been using for 21 years and gotten extremely good recommendations from them. So
Time out.
They are the broker of record, and
Sandy, let the chairman answer the questions.
well, she addressed
Well,
me, so that's why I'm answering it.
Let the chairman answer the questions. Go ahead.
Really? Okay, what's your question? I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Why does the insurance committee not talk to different brokers?
I'm sorry. Okay, I know that Plastridge is a broker and they have the ability to shop around, okay, like any other broker. And they look at and it's actually the same company that's insuring us, American Coastal that's insuring you. It's the same exact companies, okay, so that's the reason.
It does not, what I'm asking is, doesn't it fall under competitive bidding? Don't we need to get different brokers able to hawk their wares before we decide to just go with Plastridge because we've had them for 21 years?
Am I allowed to answer, Charlie? Do I have your permission to answer? The broker at Plastridge doesn't go to just one insurance company. He goes to many insurance companies, and his recommendation is what we came up with and recommended to the associations. In the past, we've gone to other brokers, but they couldn't come up with a reasonable insurance package for us because all the good companies were locked up by the broker of record.
So what you're saying is because of the broker of record, Cobrua or Century Village or the associations won't consider other brokers?
We did in the past, but the other brokers are limited in the insurance companies that they can go to, and Plastridge was able to get the best deal for us. We had numbers from other insurance companies, but they weren't as good as what Plastridge was able to get for us.
I understand that, and it may have worked very well for up to 21 years. I'm suggesting to Cobrua that it's time to look at other brokers.
Well, let's put it this way, not knowing what Legacy is going to come up with, but then
Okay, wait, hold it. You make a suggestion, we will do that. Okay?
Charlie, would you like us to bring Legacy's numbers to you when they're available?
Yes, you could bring them to me, sure.
Okay?
It's a start. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
I'm Bee Worden from Wolverton. Somebody noticed in our elevator that the braille floor limbs, one of them was missing. In other words, if you were blind, you couldn't find the thing for number 3. Will you please check your buildings? It is a federal violation to not have the braille things, and we found it. And I guess I should get in touch with Oracle, that was suggested, or First Service?
No, First Service.
First Service, all right. But I want everybody here to know if it happened in our building, it could have happened in yours.
It does happen, everyone. Yes. You have to come up here, miss. You have to go up there.
Mr. Chairman and delegates, Fred Hadley again, Cornwall. Just some breaking news on pickleball. The Pickleball Association, I don't know if that's the official name, has approved a new paddle that will reduce the ping of the pickleball. Just something for you to be aware of. A new paddle.
I know. I read that also, Fred.
Excuse me.
They're having problems.
What is it? She's interrupting.
See how you attract people, Fred?
All right. I want to understand more about the insurance process. I understand at the Thursday President's meeting that the contracts were presented. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. What is that contract between who and who? Who are the signatories of that contract or the proposed?
Well, Cornwall will sign with them for insurance. Cornwall, our association will bring it to the board and see if that's what we want. We already.
Okay, that goes to my next point. I have been told upon good information that some presidents, as many as 3, signed that contract Thursday without having it reviewed by their board. This is in direct violation of Statute 718 that states that the majority of the board is the controlling entity for each association and that presidents need to show the board.
I understand
talking.
I'm stopping you because you made your point.
All right.
That's it.
So what's the answer? Did they sign those contracts?
It's none of your business. That's association business. Look, you have to worry about
if I have another an issue,
you live in Cornwall.
I'd like to know when is Cornwall going to get from Stanley Siegel's cable committee the repair memorandum detailing all the holes, there are 400 of them, that were supposed to be resealed by Comcast to weatherproof our buildings. Do we have that report, Michael?
Talk to Stanley, you said you're gonna do.
Stanley, I'm addressing you. Have you made any report to any of the associations as you were supposed to per the repair addendum?
All the repairs were made.
And how many were those approximately?
Pursuant-
I'm not talking about just repairs. The repair addendum also speaks to resealing of all entry points. That's not a repair, sir. That's a reseal. Caulking deteriorates and chlorine. Each hole is to be resealed. Has that been done, sir?
Right, your 2 minutes are up, come on.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes, miss. You wanna face us? No, I know. Wanna face us?
Randburg, Dorset. We also pull away from places. We're in USN, and we got a much, much better rate. So you can't get.
Let's not have a little dispute here about who gets the best insurance.
Helene Harris again
Yes.
from Hyde. Simply back to when you said it was Cornwall business and you couldn't answer Fred's question.
That's true.
But the question is, if you have an insurance committee of Cobrua that's advising the associations, isn't it incumbent upon them to say they have to follow their bylaws in wherever they sign?
We can't tell the associations what to do. We can make recommendations. If their board says we don't want that insurance company, we can't force them to do it.
No, it's, we're.
What's that you talk about the sign? Yes. Your board,
You wouldn't think that Cobrua should help here?
it's association business. We don't
It's an
interfere with
umbrella
association.
organization that's supposed to be working on behalf of all the associations. No, to tell that president, make sure you follow your bylaws.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. If we can't, I can't go to the president of Exeter and say, you better sign that or not sign it.
No, you might
Just
say.
to go back to Cornwall where you live, Michael. Mind your own goddamn business. You sign it.
So how could you sign a contract just speaking Cornwall without going back to your board with the numbers?
I didn't say we didn't go back. We do. I can't tell any association, no one in this room can tell any association how to run their association. If they sign it without asking their board, that's not my problem. That's their problem. My problem is, as the president of Cornwall, I have to obey the rules. I have a meeting next week. I'm going to my board. The people will be there. Before I sign, I want their opinion. I can't go to any place else and say.
The difference we're hearing is we're hearing you signed, you didn't sign, so.
I didn't sign it.
Okay, so.
And just a minute. And we can't tell them, did you sign, you didn't sign. It's not if you came to Cornwall and said, did I sign, you didn't sign, I would say, as a fellow president, I would say no. But if it's somebody else, I say, well, you don't live in Cornwall. Why are you concerned about that?
Because we all fall under Cobrua, and we're trying to all work together and help each
You are
other.
making recommendations.
I follow what
You
you're
made
saying.
recommendations, here's a personal example. We made a recommendation, you didn't follow it, right? We made a recommendation, you didn't follow it, is that correct? You signed with another company. So, that's it. You want me to come to your company, your association, and say, wait a minute, your president made a mistake. She should have signed for class. You know, you say, get the hell out of my own business.
I think that we've said repeatedly, and I certainly won't beat this to death, that we're supposed to be working cooperatively, all the associations, not just
Mike.
keep each other away.
I think it's a good point, but I think it should come up at the president's meeting, where the president's talking to each other, should tell each other.
Controlling, the delegates hold all the power. All the information should be provided in front
No,
of
they
the
don't.
delegates.
No, they don't.
No, I'm talking about Cobrua.
No, but-
Making
No.
decisions within
No.
Cobrua. This is the way to get all the
But this-
information out
this-
to everybody.
If the president isn't operating properly, the association.
Incumbent upon their own board to
Yes,
take care of
those
this. They
board
understand
members, those board members, I mean, I think they've heard people here enough, but those board members should bring it up in front of the president.
But if they
It's not
don't,
one president
if
to
they
another.
don't know to, the delegates are a perfect place to get tons of information out to your entire village population. You've got, what is it, 66, 70 77 people who can go out and spread information. It's a resource that I feel you should be using.
And you have. You've sent it out. Many of those delegates are also directors. So,
Right.
Yeah, I think you're.
And also,
Yes, Dave.
in answer to your question, right? When we did the budget, the insurance was part of that budget.
Fanshaw's budget, you're talking?
Yes.
Yes.
We presented it to the board, and we approved the budget, including the insurance.
Yes, we all did. We had to.
With the way the insurance came in, it came in even less.
Yes.
So as far as I'm, as far as I'm concerned, we already approved that.
Dicey interpretation. We'll leave that to the legal experts. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? And let her speak longer because she was a delegate, and she remembered something. So that's why I gave her more than 2 minutes. Because she's a delegate, she spit it from the floor, she could have spoken as long as she wanted. So in case anybody says, she, come on. Mitch, somebody forgets something. If I was a delegate, if I'm a delegate and I forget to bring something up, I think the president sitting here should give me the opportunity to bring it back up. This is not a dictatorship, although some people think it is. I let her speak because she's a delegate, she represents the association, she has the right to speak. Yes.
I call for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Hold on. Just tell me one thing. Please tell them your name and where you're from, because I'm going to hear it again. The minutes, okay. It's a good meeting. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
The election committee, could you just please meet me in the back?
Where in the back?